Hey everyone, this is Brianna Daughtery. I am going to go over assignment 5, which I'm going to talk about my assignment 4, my teaching unit. I chose so I modeled this teaching unit for the English as a second language class. I don't actually teach it anymore. However, um, I left the field of teaching about 6 months ago. So I just went ahead and used what I would have done had I been in there. So I chose to do the SAM instruction model. The reason that I chose this model was because with my English students, everything is very repetitive. You need to repeat things, um, and sometimes you need to repeat something more so than what you would for another student. So I I think I liked this model for this particular class just because I felt it was very repetitive and there was no necessary structure. Like you could do what you needed to do, and I feel like you never know with the English class. So, um, skimming through this real quick, my goals are that students will have a better understanding of our community. Students will add vocabulary words to their vocabulary journal. Students will write their journal using writing prompts at the beginning of class. This is something that we typically do on a regular basis. So, as you can see, I have my objectives with my standards in there. Then I have the standards. For this particular assignment, I'm going to give an assessment at the beginning of the class, which is just a simple 4 questions. It's nothing big. Then there's an analysis of the learner characteristics for my English class. I literally can have someone walk through the door one day and decide they're in the class. So I have to assess my learners quickly. We actually give what is called a tape test, so that kind of helps me assess where they are. Um, and it's the classy it's the English language learners version of the tape testing for our state. So I listed all my assignments. The pre-assessment, like I said, it's just 4 questions, just about the community, and then they take it again as a post-assessment just to see if they pertain to the knowledge that they needed. So a writing prompt, I have some vocabulary words that they go over. They really like to do these. We add them up to our word wall word. Then I've got some worksheets over suburban, urban, and rural communities. So got these are great visuals. Gotta love teachers pay teachers. Um, Community jobs. I feel like these are important to list. So for the community, I have them go over these things. And then we have follow up questions, and then we do the Kahoot review. And that's over the vocabulary words. And then again, we do the post assessment, which I've kind of keyed everything in. So I didn't actually get to teach this lesson to my actual students, but I did get to share it with my daughter who's in kindergarten, and she found it very interesting. She's not quite up there with some of the other English students, obviously, because she's in kindergarten. So I did feel like I was working with lower level English students, so she really liked it. I did it over a course of 3 days because it took her a little bit to do the vocabulary. All in all, I was really pleased with how things went. For the first questions, when asked if the tasks yield appropriate um, to do the tasks yield appropriate evidence of the identified misunderstandings? I feel like my tasks that I have my students do, the worksheets they do have to do with my goals and things like that. I also developed my goals off of what I knew I wanted to learn or wanted them to learn. Um, do the tasks involve a complex real world application of the identified knowledge, skill, and understandings? Being part of the community is very important to English learners to learn. They need to know what the different jobs in our community are for, how they can be affected, things like that. So, yes, I do believe it's very real world authentic. Um, then the next question was, are there a variety of assessments? I probably lack a little bit of variety of assessments just because it's hard to do that. And I already test my students so much with the Class Z testing. So I feel like, incorporate more variety testing and things like that. However, I added in the Kahoot, I added in a, an assessment going on. Um, so are my students able to self-assess and reflect upon their learning? Yeah, they are. With the Kahoot lesson, they can see what questions they miss. They can go back and see what they need to work on. However, I could probably incorporate a couple of more things like that. All in all, I feel really good about this lesson and teaching it, and I hope that my students will or my colleagues will be able to use this, and we will be able to develop and critique it a little bit more as time goes on. Thanks, everyone.